Hello and welcome to the 9 News Business Buzz. I'm Ryan Frazier, 9 News Business expert. Denver Restaurant Week is underway. Over 300 restaurants, 10 days, and one of the biggest dining events in the country. Food blogger Colorado Bites reviewed every single menu and put Cool Hills on their top 20 list. It's right across from Ball Arena, and its French menu is impressive enough to crack a very competitive field. But behind those price-fixed menus are real issues. A New York City-based report says Denver now is one of the most expensive cities in America to run a restaurant, driven by labor costs, red tape, and public safety challenges. Today, joining me is Tom Coolhill, Chef Tom Coolhill, and his wife, Diane, co-owners of Cool Hills, and also the owners of Frank and Rose Coffee Company. And they know this story from the inside. Yep. Tom, Diane, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Great to be here.
Restaurant Week brings people through the door, but you're discounting it in an already tight margin environment, Diane.
Yeah.
How does this event actually help you in terms of what does it mean for Cool Hills and restaurants like you?
Well, first of all, it's an amazing opportunity to bring new guests in that might not have dined otherwise, so that's the biggest one. The Visit Denver organization does an amazing job promoting it. And at our $55 price point, you know, it's definitely discounted from our regular menu prices. But again, it brings people in that might not have dined with us otherwise, and it's great exposure for the restaurant. And there's other restaurants that price at $35 and $45, but for 3 courses, for $55, it's a great deal.
Yeah, but is it more of a marketing type of thing? Or
It
is
is.
it profitable? I mean,
It's not, no, the profit is not there for that, but it is, again, marketing.
It brings people in the door.
It brings people in the door, and we love having it. The restaurant fills up every day that we're offering it, so it's a great opportunity.
Now, Tom, I want to shift to you. There's a new report that shows Denver's tip minimum wage has nearly doubled since 2019.
correct.
Menu prices are higher than many major U.S. cities. When you look at your numbers today versus, say, 5 years ago, what's one or two of the costs that has fundamentally changed how your business works?
Well, you know, food costs are always kind of fluctuating, and they're going up currently. They've been going up a lot. Labor costs have been going up an enormous amount since when we opened in 2011 to now. It's gotten pretty incredible. And, you know, I think part of the problem is when those things happen and our costs get really high and on the slim margin that we already run on, we have to make adjustments. So we'll have to make, you know, have less hours, you know, work employees less hours, and that's not necessarily the best thing to do. I would rather have, you know, the beautiful service that we've always wanted to have and the beautiful food we've always wanted to have, instead of trying to, you know, work our way around all these cost adjustments. Yeah. And you know, the minimum wage and the tip minimum wage, you know, they're not. It's not statewide. So there's a statewide minimum wage and there's a city minimum wage. So if you go just to Edgewater, there's a big difference between Edgewater's minimum wage and Denver's minimum wage. And you can say, well, Denver's more expensive to live in. Yeah, but there's also a lot bigger population of people that are spending money on big parties and private events. And so, you know, it's an adjustment, and it's a constant adjustment that we're doing. And I don't think it helps, you know, our guests or people in Denver to come in and spend so much money on a chicken entree that they would have, you know, because we're having to adjust for all these costs. Right. So I think there just needs to be a discussion between the state and the city government about how to make it one more unified piece that makes sense to the whole state, including Denver.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, so the tip credit or tip minimum wage rose 95% or plus, $16.27 now.
Yeah.
But the tip credit has barely moved, right?
The tip credit has been the same since 2011. So as the tip credit, this is confusing for most people watching this, but the tip credit stayed $3.02 or whatever it is an hour, and it's been the same since 2011. As the minimum wage has been going like this, the tip credit's been right here. So that's a big issue. You know, that's hard for us to work our numbers and try to.
How do you make it work then? How do you? You're a longstanding Denver renowned restaurant. How do you keep the doors open under these continuing to be challenging environments?
Well, it's like every 30 minutes, and you know, have the waiters come in at or the servers come in at 4:30 instead of 4, or have them come in at 5:30 instead of 6. Scramble around. You know, it's a lot of, you know, just watching the labor, trying to, you know, cut shifts. You know, maybe don't stay open until 10 o'clock. Stay open until 9, or stay open until 8 on some days. So it's a lot of shifting like that, and it's not really helpful. And then the prices of the food and the drinks go up, and so your guest count goes down because people are going out to eat once or twice a month instead of, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 times because it's so expensive now. So It's a problem that I think that we think we're having. The government, the governor and the mayor are all aware of this, and they're trying to work on it. But we just have to get this thing like more organized and more like statewide. And
Do you see that happening? Are Denver restaurants or Colorado restaurants really coming together around these challenges to try to help make sure we can keep more restaurants open and doing business?
sure, we have conference calls all the time with the Colorado Restaurant Association and with all restaurateurs that are in and we have this big conference call, and it's the same thing. It's the same problems that everybody's having. So it's a total unified problem, and we just have to get together with the officials and try to get this worked out to where it
get
works.
some solutions. It sounds like to
we
the
need
total
solutions.
problems.
Yeah.
The same
you don't
problems
want to
keep
pay
coming
that
around.
much for to go out to eat. It's crazy to go out to eat now.
And we talked about this offline, but one of the other things we hear in this report says that Denver's permitting process is amongst the hardest in the country. National brands are literally walking away from Denver because of it. You've not quite lived that, I think, based on our conversation. But are you seeing any challenges? Are you hearing anything around those challenges from some of your contemporaries or colleagues in this?
Yes, some of my contemporaries have said they've had problems with some of the licensing, liquor licensing, and things like that. I don't know if it's because I've been around so long and we know the people, we know the system, that it works out they're pretty easy for us compared to, we had restaurants in Atlanta and that was hard. That was really hard, way harder. Here, the city works very well with us. They return our calls. So I kind of have a different experience, but there are some issues with some of this licensing if you don't know the system, and we know the system.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I want to touch on two more questions if we have the time here. Is one, let's talk a little bit about some of the foods folks can expect at Cool Hills this Denver Restaurant Week. What's popping? What's going to be like the really cool stuff they can come in and get at your restaurant?
We have our wild burgundy snails, which is a big popular thing because all these new people that we meet through Restaurant Week that are coming in are trying different things that maybe they've never tried before. So we have snails on there. We have beautiful like whitefish dish that we're doing. We have short ribs with. We're just doing a bunch of hot smoked salmon that we do. So it's really something that people can taste and maybe they've never tasted before.
Yeah. And last questions for you. What does Denver need to do right now to make sure independent restaurants like yours are still around, not just 5 years from now, but
They need to support us. They need to support us and all of our fellow restaurateurs. And that's all we ask, is that just keep coming in, even if it's just for an appetizer or a happy hour, just come in and support us.
All right. Tom Coolhill, Diane Coolhill of Cool Hills, thank you so much for your candor and for all you do for the city's dining scene. The takeaway is this: Denver Restaurant Week is a celebration worth having, but the industry needs more than 1 week of good traffic. It also needs real policy change. We'll be back at the 11 o'clock hour with a look at what January's housing data tells us about where Colorado's real estate market is headed. For the 9 News Business Buzz, for Tom and Diane Coolhill,
Thank you.
see you soon.